Right, we start here. The body of the daughter of attorney and former EFF Secretary General Gardee has been found abandoned outside Mbombela. Hillary Gardee was last seen on Friday at a supermarket in the area. EFF party leaders had been circulating a picture of her on their social media platforms, asking South Africans to assist in finding her. At the time of her disappearance, she was with her 3-year-old child, who was later found roaming in town. A 100,000 rand reward for information on her death has been offered. The EFF has described Hillary as an enthusiastic, kind and loving individual. She was studying IT while running her own business at the time of her death. Right, let's get the latest developments on that story from the police's Donald Mdhluli. He is on the line for us. Mr. Mdhluli, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Just first of all, when exactly was Hillary found? Was it this morning?
Yes, good afternoon to you as well as the viewers of eNCA. As police, we got a call from some members of the community this morning. As they were going to work, they informed us that they found a body of a woman. So when members went there, then they discovered the body of the woman, who has now been identified by a family as the one that was missing, Hillary Gardee.
And does it look like a murder to the police so far? Do preliminary investigations show that this was murder?
Yes, according to the preliminary investigation, we have seen some visible injuries on the upper body, especially on the head. So we are currently investigating a case of murder. So we urge members of the public, if they've got any information in relation to this incident, to use our crime stop number 08600 111 and give us such information so that we can put behind bars those who are responsible.
Mr. Mdhluli, I know you're not a pathologist, but police have basically covered a lot of these kind of cases before. I just want to know, according to the preliminary investigations and the wounds that you're seeing on Hillary, what weapon does it look like was used?
No, I've missed something. I couldn't hear clearly.
When you look at it, what kind of weapon does it look like? What kind of weapon could have been used when you look at those injuries on her face?
Currently, we cannot actually indicate the kind of weapon that was used, but it was an object that has been used because she sustained some injuries, which shows that a particular object has been used. However, it is not yet clear as to the kind of instrument that might have been used.
Any leads so far, Mr. Mdhluli, maybe for instance any CCTV footage at the place where she was last seen with her 3-year-old?
All the information from the supermarket that she went to on Friday in Nelspruit, at the CBD, there is a footage. However, that information it will form part of the investigation. So we hope at the end of the day we will find the perpetrator.
Oh, okay, but at least we can trust that something will at least be found, because you're confirming that there's definitely CCTV that police will be looking through.
Yes, but the CCTV doesn't indicate on this one that we have got. It's a distance between where a body was found with the last scene where she was seen. So police are going to gather such information as part of the investigation.
Just to confirm quickly, in terms of her 3-year-old, was the 3-year-old found at that supermarket where she was last seen?
No, the 3-year-old was actually found lingering on the streets in Nelspruit. She was not in the said supermarket.
And I mean, will the child possibly be used by police, not used necessarily, but possibly be interviewed by experts who can ordinarily speak to children to see if he or she could give you more information? Maybe they know who did it?
I think our approach now as police with regard to the investigation will look at every angle that might exist. Remember, this child is 3 years old. So we believe that maybe there might be information, but also we must take into consideration that it's a child who is still young. However, we believe that as our experts in terms of investigation, they will do whatever they can to make sure that the perpetrator or the perpetrators are brought to book.
Just one more quick question, Mr. Mdhluli. When you look at it, I don't know, perhaps if she went to the supermarket in her vehicle and maybe she was found with her vehicle nearby, or was her body just dumped somewhere, making it seem as if she was killed somewhere else and then dumped later?
I think it's too early to can indicate whether she was murdered somewhere and brought back. However, we can indicate that a body was found near the bushes and with bruises, which indicate clearly that there was a foul play, which also makes us to investigate a murder case.
I hate asking this question, Mr. Mdhluli, but I have to. Are police investigating whether or not Hillary could have been sexually assaulted?
Come again?
Are police possibly investigating whether or not Hillary could have been sexually assaulted as well?
At this stage, because as I'm talking to you, body has not yet been removed, so our experts in terms of the crime scene are in the scene. They are trying to gather as much information as possible. So I think as time goes on, that we will also know whether she was maybe sexually assaulted or raped. That will be indicated by the evidence that our experts could have collected on the crime scene. So for now, we just know that we are investigating a murder. So if there are other indications in terms of the evidence, we are going to put more charges with regard to that.
All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us here on All Angles. That was the police in Mbombela's spokesperson, Donald Mdhluli, speaking to us there about the fact that police found the remains of Hillary Gardee, the daughter of former EFF Secretary General Gardee.